Yo, what's up guys? Lightning May here with another UFC prediction for the fight night. Max Holloway against Arnold in Kansas City. I'm glad it's not the UFC Apex Arena because this fight will be a banger for sure. The fans will go crazy. Also the co-main event, we have Edson Barbosa against Billy Quarantillo. This fight will be a tough fight for both guys and maybe a messy and bloody fight. So let's start with the first fight on the card. Joselyne Edwards against Lucie Pudilová. I got Joselyne Edwards by decision. Her last fight against Kim was very good. Both girls were outstanding, striking battle. Now I see a decision, 29-28 for Joselyne Edwards. Maybe Pudilová can have a round, but this will not be enough for her. So the next fight on the card, Gaston Bolaños against Aaron Phillips. I got Gaston Bolaños by knockout in the first round. To be honest, I was going with Aaron Phillips because he had like 3 or 4 fights in UFC, but the thing is he lost maybe all of them. So we need to side with Bolaños, the hype behind him, the knockout power. Maybe he can catch him in the first round by knockout. Next fight on the card, Bruna Brasil against Denise Gomes. I go by Denise Gomes by second round TKO. She's the shorter one, and I believe she can catch her because Bruna Brasil, she's a little bit chinny to be honest, and if a short overhand from Denise Gomes catches her in the second round, maybe she can get rocked and fall down, and I see a TKO by her. But it's a women's fight, so it's like a coin toss, 50-50. For the last card, we got 3 or 4 women fights, and we had 100%. We had everyone winning. So maybe this time too. I hope so. But it's tough today. It's tough. So the next fight on the card, Lando Vannata against Daniel Zellhuber. I was a little bit disappointed with Daniel Zellhuber because of his last fight against Trey Ogden. But still, man, this guy's talented. He took a little bit of a time off. He prepared, he trained, and he has the winning mentality, to be honest. And he's young, he can win the fight. Lando Vannata on the other side, his fight against Tony Ferguson and his spinning heel kick. This will be the 2 things which will be always remembered. And also a third thing, which is the short in his last fight against Charles Jordan. It was funny and a little bit embarrassing for him. But it's still in my head and in your head. What is also in my head is a knockout, first round knockout by Daniel Zellhuber. I believe this time we will see how good he really is. Next fight on the card, Piera Rodriguez against Gillian Roberts. I got Gillian Roberts by first round submission. I believe, of course, in the standing, Rodriguez is the better fighter, but Robertson will take her down and submit her in the first round by maybe a rear naked choke. Next fight on the card is Ed Herman, the legend Ed Herman against Zak Cummings. Ed Herman lost so many fights, but also he won. People forget he won also some fights. So I believe this will be a tough fight for both. Maybe a slow fight, the fans will be a little bit asleep. But still 29-28 for Zak Cummings. I see it coming, So 29-28, we got Zak Cummings by decision. Next fight on the card is a really good one. Brandon Royval against Matheus Nicolau. To be honest, I was a little bit behind from the hype from Matheus Nicolau. I didn't thought he was that good, but he showed in his last fight this guy is smart and he has a fighting IQ, which is very important, I believe. If you want to be a champion, you need to have fighting IQ. He showed it, and he won by a good knockout. So in this fight, I see a decision because Brandon Royval will take the fight serious. He will go to knock him out or maybe even to submit him. So 30-27 for Matheus Nicolau. He will still win every round, but it will be tough for him. Next fight on the card is TJ Brown against Bill Algeo. I got Bill Algeo by submission. I was going for the submission, to be honest, I got this now by decision because maybe TJ Brown can, get out of the clinches, maybe even stand up after the takedowns. And to be honest, TJ Brown, I can't really figure out how he wants to win his fight. He's a little bit out of the place. So You know, this will be an interesting fight. I still got Algeo by decision. He's a very good fighter. He should won his last fight against Andre Philly. So yeah, let's see. Clay Guida against Rafa Garcia. I got Rafa Garcia by decision. I believe this guy should be a much more favorite because Clay Guida is really old, and in his last fight against I forgot who it was, but you know, he really didn't look good, man. He was slow and old, and also against Scott Holtzman, I believe. You know, it was like a slow fight. I mean, Scott Holtzman is also not on his best age. So I got Rafa Garcia, 28 years old, and in his last fight against this Chinese guy who is knockout power, he showed, you know, he can win fight against these guys. So I got him by decision. Now the main event card, the main card, Pedro Munhoz against Chris Gutierrez. I mean, we gotta go with the legend killer, Argeo, Chris Gutierrez, TKO by second round. I mean, Pedro Munhoz, I don't understand how people think he will win the fight, because he's not that good, you know. Yes, he has some good low kicks and he can take punches, but in the first round against Sean O'Malley, he didn't land one strike, you know. So I go by Chris Gutierrez. This guy has knockout power. Against the legend Frankie Edgar, he showed it. He killed him, man. He really killed him in front of his kids, in front of his family. I believe this will be the next time. Second round TKO by Chris Gutierrez against Pedro Munhoz. Ion Cutelaba against Tanner Boser. I mean, this is a tough one, 50-50 to be honest. But I still got Ion Cutelaba. If he doesn't win this fight, that's it, man. He need to be cut off from the roster, because it will be like 3 or 4 losses in a row and early finishes. I don't understand how the UFC gave him a chance again, but they think he can win this fight. I believe he can win the fight too. Submission first round, he will take him down. You know, Tanner Boser is really not a good guy who can stand up. Maybe with the cage, but I believe this will be in the center. Early takedown by Ion Cutelaba, and maybe even a rear naked choke. Next fight on the card is Dustin Jacoby against Azamat Murzakanov. I was going with Azamat, also a very good Circassian fighter, but you know, Dustin Jacoby is a really good kickboxing guy. You know, this guy should win his last fight against, I believe, William Knight. He got robbed. I believe this time you know, this will be like a third round TKO, because he will try to knock him out. Of course, Azamat will try to eat the punches and try to fight the fight. To be honest, this will be also a messy fight, but I believe in the third round, you know, Dustin Jacoby will catch him, and maybe even with a high kick, and you know, end the fight. So Dustin Jacoby by third round TKO. Edson Barbosa against Billy Quarantillo, co-main event. Everybody goes with Billy. Again, I am going with the underdog, Edson Barbosa. His experience and his body, man. Look at this body, man. This guy is a true athlete. In his last fight, you know, he was taken down a lot against Bryce Mitchell, and this is just a different fight, man. I believe against Billy Quarantillo, he will have the takedown defense, and this will be a stand-up fight, 3 rounds. Edson Barbosa can go full 3 rounds. 29-28. I see Edson Barbosa winning the fight. Now the main event, Max Holloway against Arnold Allen. I got Arnold Allen by third round TKO. Everybody will be surprised. I know, to be honest, because in the last fight we saw Max Holloway is not the same guy anymore. If you play Warzone and all these games, man. On the other hand, we got an Arnold Allen who trains his ass off to win a title, man. This guy is not fighting to win. This guy wants to be the next, I believe, the third British champion. You know, the English champion after Leon Edwards and Michael Bisping. So this guy is fighting for more. You know, he had his last fight against Kevin Kata. Of course, this wasn't a good fight. You know, early stoppage because Kevin Kata like broke his ankle or something. horrible, but in this time I believe Max Holloway will have still a good fight. He will try to show how good he is, his boxing, his chin. But Arnold Allen will maybe mix it up, a little bit of clinches, takedowns. I saw him wrestle a lot, so maybe he will try to take him down. But in the third round, I believe both guys will eat a lot of punches. And the chin of Max Holloway, it is really good, but will it be still good? That's the question. And I believe Arnold Allen, he has knockout power, and he will knock him out, man. This is the first time we will see it, and we'll see how the fight goes.